Hello and welcome to the Guides.Global short introduction to the legal system in Spain. This is only a short guide because we have a full written guide on this subject, and it's something that's really probably better dealt with by way of a written guide than it is on a video. But we thought that you might be interested in a couple of introductory remarks. With me today I have Miguel Manzanares, who is the founder and senior partner of Manzanares International, lawyers based on the Costa del Sol here in Spain. Miguel, thank you for coming.
Thank you very much.
You are not only the senior partner and founder of Manzanares, but you are in charge of most of the aspects of this company which are not related to litigation, as I understand it.
Correct.
The legal system in Spain, it's important, I think, for people to understand, is very similar in many respects to the legal systems in many other continental European countries. So if you are familiar with, say, the French legal system or the Italian legal system, you will have a pretty good idea of the structure behind the Spanish legal system. But if you come from somewhere in the Anglo-Saxon world, it will all seem very strange to you. In Spain, we have a civil law system.
Yes.
And like all civil law systems, it is divided into public law and private law areas.
Yeah.
Can you just say a little bit about what is a public law area?
Public law area are really those relationships with the administrations.
Yes.
In that respect, we say in Spain the administrative law, which is in relation of the administration. This is really divided in different categories because in Spain we have the municipality administration, we have the autonomous, which is pretty much equivalent to an state, and we have the national administration. Some of them are linked, and these are constituting the administrative law, which is different than the civil law, because you require, in case that you have any type of dispute, or in case of you have any court case, you can never start up the court case directly, but you have to try to appeal to the administration that has been approving that act.
So they do something on your behalf at your petition.
Yeah, exactly. So basically they create what we call acto administrativo, which is an act, and therefore before you using a normal court, you have to try to appeal to that administration that has been approving, has been resolving about that matter, and once you exhausted that via is when you are allowed to start up the court case. This is really in the field of the administrative law, that is could be done in the municipal level, state level, or national level. The private law, the private system with the civil law is a relation of the relationship of the parties, as long as they don't really are entering into the field of the companies and corporations, because this is really called mercantile law.
So really, sticking with the public law just for a second, so really in Spain we have the central government that passes laws, but in some cases they've delegated the power to the autonomous regions, the autonomous communities. So in some cases, for example, the law in Andalusia is going to be different from the law in Valencia, the law in the Basque country.
Absolutely.
And then in some cases as well, you have local municipalities having the right to pass laws that are local to that area. So you've got three different systems all existing side by side.
That's correct.
And the public law part of Spain is where the member of the public, the individual, is dealing with any of those systems, including the criminal law.
Yeah, correct.
And the private law is basically everything else.
Exactly.
Yes.
It's everything else.
Yes.
Yeah, we can name it like that.
Now, of course, most people don't get worried about any of this. They just wait for the law to hit them in some way and then work out how to deal with it. But because the way in which you have to deal with cases and the remedies available to you vary depending upon the sort of law you're dealing with, it perhaps is useful to have some sort of background knowledge of it. Now, the other thing I just want to mention in this short video is the judiciary. In Spain, you have a professional judiciary. The judges are all paid, and they are all qualified first as lawyers before they become judges.
Yes, there is, in general, we can say yes. There is a very little exceptions that I would like to mention, which is the juez de paz, which is like the translation of it will be like a judge of peace.
Yes, we have the same in England, incidentally, and it's the same system in many countries. They're dealing with tiny little cases.
Exactly, they deal like it's a kind of a little mediation sometimes in which you try to conciliate both positions of both parties because you start up. This is not obligatory jurisdiction, so it's not like in the administrative law that you have to start up trying with the administration and then only after you have exhausted that via you can start up. No, with the judge of peace you can use it if you like. You don't. If you don't want, you don't have to use it. And they are normally in charge of doing the civil registry. That civil registry is in charge of registering the birth certificates, the death certificates, and this type of registry. So they are not exclusive professionals of this. So they're paid, but the type of remuneration is really very limited, and therefore they could be professionals, and they normally are professionals appointed normally by the town hall.
Yes. Now, I mentioned the judges because there are some countries in the world where basically the legal system doesn't work. If something goes wrong, then that's it. If you have a contract with a local company and they don't honor it, you will never get justice because everything is stacked in favor of the local company. And of course, Spain is not one of those countries. Spain is a country where there is a fully functional legal system which dispenses justice. You may not always agree with it, but I think you have to concede that it is an effective legal system.
100%, yes, correct.
And that in turn has a lot of relevance when you're talking to people who are thinking about investing in Spain, starting projects in Spain, or indeed coming to live in Spain, because you don't want to be dealing with countries where you don't have an effective legal system.
In that sense, really, Spain is a country that we enjoy a very strong legal security, and we have a justice administration that really works pretty well. Of course, we all want this to be working better and better. We're never happy enough with this, but we can say the impartiality of the judges is really quite high, and it's really really quite reputable profession in Spain.
And the final thing I want to say in this video is about the public administration generally, because if you think 20, maybe 30 years ago, maybe even 10 years ago, many people around the world would say, oh, the administration in Spain, it's slow, it's cumbersome, it doesn't understand the needs of the people. That's changed a lot, hasn't it? People who still think those things have not been to the modern Spain. A lot's now done online, a lot can be done very quickly, and public officials seem now to understand the concept of service to the consumer. Is that your experience, or am I unduly generous to the Spanish administration?
Yes, I agree. I agree that the evolution has been very positive within a good number of years. Of course, it's never perfect, and we are never happy enough about this, because we would like to be working to better and better. But the evolution has been very positive due to a number of laws that have been created, been approved, in which, for instance, the silence, the administration used to be considered that they have like a no time limit to respond,
yes,
to proceed, to progress with a petition from any citizen. With the creation of the law 30/92, there was an obligation of producing acts on progressing. Otherwise, the silence of the administration, so the inactivity of the administration, was going to be considered like the approval, yes, of your petition. So the administration is obliged to progress, is obliged to produce, even if they write you back to say, sorry, we are still working on this, can I really ask you these other documents? They are obliged to produce a communication. Otherwise, the result of this silence would be the approval of the petition.
Because they can't do what they perhaps used to do many years ago, and that's just put the letter under the table and forget about it. Because if they do that, they will be deemed to have accepted what your proposition is.
Exactly.
Yes. Miguel, thank you very much indeed. I hope that little snippet has been of interest. If you would like to learn more about the way the legal system works in Spain, please read the written guide, which is available at our website, www.guides.global, and is linked in the information box in this video. If you'd like to contact Miguel or his team at Manzanares, there's also a contact link there for them. Miguel, thank you, and thank you for listening.